What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you some of the parts and hardware that I keep with me in my mini bike when I'm out riding. And I'm going to show you some things that I think you should keep with you just in case anything happens. Some of these are going to be the same for all of you guys. Other things are going to be interchangeable depending on what your setup is and what vehicle you're riding. But the whole idea is to keep some spare parts on you when you're out riding, so that way if you're broke down or whatever, you can save your ass. Alrighty, the first thing on my list is spark plugs. Spark plugs do go bad, and when you're out riding and you have a bad spark plug, it's no fun. You're going to want to keep them on you because sometimes they can go bad. Sometimes they work themselves loose and go fly out right out of the block. Sometimes when you're trying to start your vehicle or your mini bike, your go-kart, your 4-wheel, whatever you got, you can flood out the cylinder and your spark plug will be covered in gas and it won't ignite the fuel because it's wet. So carry some extra spark plugs with you so you can take the old one out, put a new one in, and you're good to go again. Alrighty, the next thing you want to keep with you is extra light bulbs for your headlights. If you're out riding on the trail at night and your light bulb goes out, that's no fun. You're not going to be able to go anywhere. And yeah, it's not going to be a good time. So keep an extra light bulb with you because all this bouncing around on the trails, jumping around, and all the jerking, it could destroy the filament in the bulb. So yeah, that's why you want to keep an extra bulb with you, especially if you're riding at night. And that's why I got this with me. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit odd, but I just had this happen to me when I was riding my mini bikes. I keep an extra kickstand spring with me because I just had one on my rat bike way over there in the corner fly off on me when I was riding. And yeah, it's no fun when you have to use a zip tie to keep it up and cut a zip tie and use one every single time you want to ride the bike. So I keep an extra one with me just in case. It just makes the life a lot easier in those circumstances. It's kind of unlikely that it does happen because I've never had this happen to me, but I'm going to keep it with me anyway. Alright, and this doesn't apply to any specific vehicle or anything you're riding, but this is a 15/16 nut for a 5/8 jack shaft for my mini bikes. This is just a piece of essential hardware that if I lose it, I'm gonna be fucked without it. So this spot on the list is just for I'm gonna say essential hardware. So if you got any essential hardware that that is critical for the functioning of your dirt bike or 4-wheel or go-kart or whatnot, keep an extra with you because you know it just might save you. Another thing to go along with essential hardware is some 3/4 bore 14 gauge steel bushings. I keep these with me because I use them on my torque converter setups on all my mini bikes to line up the two pulleys, and if something happens to the belt where I need to take it off, or if they're out of alignment somehow, or I lose a bushing or it just wears down, I got another, I can put it on it, get my belt back up in alignment, and hopefully it does not eat my belt as fast. Another thing I keep with me is some hose clamps for fuel line so I can secure the fitting to the gas tank and the carburetor so nothing happens to them. If a stick hits them, most likely it can't rip the line off and then dump gas everywhere. So, you know, just in case, I keep these with me. And I also keep some fuel line with me, just in case if I have to take off the gas tank for some reason to like get at the governor spring or something like that. And if my players damage the line or something, I can quickly take some line, cut it up to length, put it back on the bike, hook it to the tank and the carburetor, clamp it down with the hose clamp, and be good to go again. Another thing I keep with me that's essential for my bikes are some chain adjusters, sometimes Masterlink brakes, and these are very fragile, and these really make life easier when you're tightening up the back wheel and getting it to the proper tension without over tightening your chain or leaving it too loose. So yeah, these are fragile, so I keep an extra one with me just to make life easier. Another thing that I keep with my bike is some Carburetor Jets, just in case if any dirt somehow manages to get past the filter and into my carburetor and the bike starts running funny, I can pop a different jet in it and the bike can run normal and I can get home. Another thing I keep with me is some wheel bearings for the mini bikes. They do go bad. Sometimes you can't even tell they go bad when they're damaged. Sometimes it is noticeable. Sometimes they get very stiff and hard to turn. And sometimes they fly apart completely and disintegrate, and then there's nothing left of the bearing. So these are really easy to press into the mini bikes without any special tools. All you really need is like a socket, an extension, and a little bit of muscle and some sort of tool that's like a hammer. So yeah, these for me are a necessity. Another thing I got right here is a bunch of gaskets. I got gaskets for the carburetor to, I meant the airbox to the carburetor to the, it's a little plastic piece like a heat thing, and then there's a gasket behind that goes to the cylinder head, so I got a bunch of gaskets in here. Gaskets do go bad if you blow one. You can get an air leak by your carburetor and it can run like shit. So it's a good thing to have. Sometimes you blow an exhaust gasket, you can get that fixed in less than 5 minutes and back on the road. You don't got to worry about damage. Another thing I like to keep with me when I'm riding is some Masterlinks, and I got a half link here. Sometimes you break a chain and you need to put it back together, so I keep a couple Masterlinks with me because it's not that uncommon where you break a link, somehow the chain gets too loose and it falls off, gets caught on something, and it just snaps the link right off. So I keep a bunch of different links in 3 different sizes, 41, 40, and 420 chain, because some of my mini bikes have different chain sizes on them, so keep some Masterlinks with you. Another thing I keep with me is a keyway. If I'm doing any work to the clutch or the torque converter on the side of the road, if I break down, if I drop a keyway, I can be fucked. So it's a good idea to keep some keyway with you. All my mini bikes happen to be using a 3/16 keyway, so I don't need to carry multiple sizes, but it's good to have them if your vehicle requires them. And the last thing I got to show you guys is a crankshaft bolt. These can work themselves loose over time throughout the vibration of the clutch and the torque converter clutch. So it's a good idea to keep one of these just in case. You never know when you're going to need them. So it's a good idea to keep these with you. And last but not least, I keep a can of chain lube with me, because chains do get dry, they can get hot, and they can seize up and then break, and then they can destroy and really damage your sprockets. So it's got to keep a little bit of chain lube with you, and lube your chain every once in a while when you get a break, and that way you can preserve the life of your chain and avoid getting stuck on the side of the road when you're out trying to have a good time. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.